The Me You Love in the Dark. This is a 5-issue miniseries from Image Comics, written by Scotty Young, with art from George Corona and colors by Jean-Francois Below. I was really interested in this piece when it came out. I'm a big fan of Scotty Young, and I'm always interested to see what he's going to do next because it's very different. He swings for the fences with a lot of stuff and tells a really concise, interesting story. So I went into this with pretty much no expectations. I was just like, okay, a fun horror story from Scotty Young. I can't wait to see what this is going to be. And the finished product, I would say, is one of the most interesting, beautiful, heartbreaking, fascinating stories to come out of, comics in a while. I'm not saying it, blew the doors open for this new inventive style, but it was very satisfying. It was a quiet, calm read, which is something I kind of wanted. Everything has to be loud and over the top these days. But if you can just tell a quiet story that is concise, it has a beginning, it has a middle, it has an end, and it works, that's very impressive to me. So the basic plot of The Me You Love in the Dark is this woman named Rowena. She moves into this new house, basically just something to distract her while she works on her new art gallery. She is a painter, and she just needs something to just re-envision herself with so she can focus on this new piece that she's working on, or this new gallery she needs to make. And inside the house, there is this dark presence that she's sensing, and she's starting to feel this thing creeping up on her. And basically we learn that maybe this demon or the spiritual being is actually haunting the house she is living in. And because of that, this thing that is following her starts to have a connection to her, and they start to have an actual romantic relationship. And it's a very satisfying escalation and evolution of the dynamic. It starts very quiet, it's kind of secretive, then it explodes, and it comes to a big grinding conclusion at the end. It's very fascinating to see. The writing is very standard, and that's not a bad thing. It plays into the tropes perfectly. It does some interesting stuff. I buy the romance because it does a good job of portraying Ro as this woman who is very self-efficient and doesn't need anybody in her life, but when that thing comes along that you need and you want, it can consume you and become a part of you, and that romantic intention was very cool to see, and it worked perfectly for this story. Scotty Young's writing is great. George Corona's artwork is just amazing. It looks really cool. The line work is fantastic. The colors by Jean-Francois are fantastic too. Everything about it just works. The dark coloring, just where you see the creature coming out and watching her, the way they interconnect when they're doing their romantic entanglements. It's all very beautiful, very organic feeling, just very fluid, and just... It is romantic. I will say it's kind of scary towards the later half of the book. It does lean more towards that cycle of horrific destruction. But the beginning, there's some beauty to it. It's you're seeing them dance, you're seeing them slowly fall in love, and that's kind of a cool concept. And one of the things I really, really respect about this book too is that it doesn't beat you over the head with what it's trying to say. It is very much just metaphorical, which is kind of interesting. There's a couple ways I interpreted what we're seeing here. This creature that is with her could be seen as an abusive partner. It could be seen as somebody stuck in an abusive relationship, and how rose-colored glasses hide the red flags kind of thing, where you're just seeing the beauty for what it is, but when the darkness shines, you see that too. It could be interpreted as actual this idea of your conception as a creator or an artist of any kind, your muse, your ideas, your conception, that thing you're creating consumes you, and you fall in love with it instantly, even if it starts to destroy you. That is your thing, and you start to love it. It's the only thing that you have. Or you could just look at it as a literal demon is sleeping with her. And I think all of them are justifiable. To me personally, just because, it's very much about art and how art speaks to her and connects to her. I see it as The Me You Love in the Dark is kind of the part of you that you put into your own work, and how that reflects the part of you that you either love or hate or you cherish or any of that kind of stuff. That's how I viewed it, where she's putting all her darkness into this painting, and she starts to fall in love with that concept, and it kind of manifests into this thing that she can physically be with. And I think that is kind of interesting to see. Again, it is a simple book. It's not overstaying its welcome. It's not doing anything dramatic or, reinventing the wheel here. But it's a solid book. It's this gothic romance story, which I know some people really like that genre. I do too. I think it's very fun when you can do that genre right. And this is the rare case where I think it happens. It does get into some kind of third act troubles where things get a little too intense towards the end. but it wraps up in a beautiful way, and it works almost perfectly for what this book needed to be. I very much enjoyed it, and I think a lot of people will get a lot of interesting ideas from this. You know, it's about art and love and romance and all these things, with beautiful, gorgeous coloring and artwork. It's just a spectacular look at, a solid read with a very fascinating character, and a fascinating look at a relationship, whatever you want to interpret that relationship as. It's just fascinating to see that kind of style of stuff presented here on this in this comic book, and that is just a really cool thing to see. And the Me You Love in the Dark, it is a book that I don't know if a lot of people have read. I've heard a lot of good reviews about it, but I'm going to encourage you to try it and check it out, because it's something that is worth your time and worth looking in, because it's a quiet book about love, romance, and art, and that's something that we should cherish and uphold and just, you know, revere in this industry. So, the Me You Love in the Dark, I am going to give a 7 out of 10. Now, thank you guys for watching this review. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter, and I will catch you in the next one. Have fun, stay safe, good luck.